people have always come to me and kind of said, hey, you know, THiiX, the finals can't be an esport, okay? It's not, you know, it's not balanced enough, or there's problems, or there's tech stuff, or, you know, it's just not fun to watch, or you know, there's a load of other things and excuses that people come to me towards. And I've always kind of understood the reason why they've said that, because most of the time when you think of esports, you immediately result to games such as like Counter-Strike, right? You have the big names going up against each other, a long history of decades of battle between them. You have League of Legends, for example, as well. The legacy of players like Faker, who recently obviously won the World, which I was there to watch as well. You know, those types of matches are very important because they have driven years of storytelling and narratives, and there's a reason why you as a viewer want to watch and support a team. In the finals, because it's so brand new, you don't have any reason to support these two teams playing right now in the background. Okay, who the hell is SW and who the hell is 223? Most of you guys probably don't even care, especially if you are even playing the finals right now. There is no reason for you to want to support a specific team. And yeah, sure, you could go down and be like, yeah, well, I support NA or I support EU. Fine, but we're talking about specifics here in the scope of the video. Anything can actually be an esport in this case, right? You have, for example, Farming Simulator esports. You have Power Wash Simulator esports. You have GeoGuessr esports, right? So the definition of esports kind of gets a little bit like pinpointed, like, oh, it has to be a massive stadium with crowds and arenas and millions of dollars on the line and big sponsors. And, you know, again, anything can be an esport. And I think the case of the finals is that it does support the environment, the world of being an esports scene as well. But there is a lot of tech things, again, that we can kind of discuss throughout this video today. And okay, so first of all, here you can see, essentially, I just cut into like a little bit at the start of the match. So essentially, again, if you're new to the finals, they have to take this Vault 1, which spawns on the map, all the way to either B or A, and then play defense until it has been cashed out successfully. Okay, and then they get the points to their team. So it's a bit like a very long capture the flag type thing, where you have to defend the flag for it to be activated to you. The other team during that time can steal the capture as well, and then take the point off you. And the first team in this specific game mode, the first two captures that they get, they are the winners of the map, okay, and it's a best of 5. So you can see initially here from the start that the orange team have positioned themselves in a really nice situation here. And one of the things that is very important that I kind of say in the finals is high ground is one of the most important things. I can't even spell high ground. High ground. High ground is one of the most important things in the finals. It's actually, I estimate that it's about 20% of your fight, of the value of your fight. So again, if you break down, for example, you know, 20% of it is if you're on the high ground, another 20% is like how your individual skill is, and then probably like another 40% is like, you know, how the combo you use, like, you know, heavy, medium, the gadgets and stuff like that, and then there's another 10%, right? So there's all these things, but high ground in particular is super important. And in this case here, you can see that 223, who is the orange team, are holding the high ground against the pink team, which is the Scallywags. So it's the North American team, Scallywags.
Scallywags versus 223 on system.
Okay, and one of the things that's interesting here as well, again, the bitrate is really low. I'm sorry. It would be nice to have like a higher bitrate for these things, but unfortunately, you know, we're new to the finals. This is a community kind of production stuff, so it's, you know, it's a little bit newer. But right here, you can see in the hands is an AK for NoAX, okay? And then we have a model for a Telco, and then a SA-12 shotgun, so it's a shotgun for Sam in this fight as well. So Noah here has a long-range weapon. The model and the model is a shotgun as well, and obviously the SA-12 is a shotgun. So these two players up here aren't going to be able to do much from long range, specifically because they know that roughly the other teams, just from game sense, will be over here. Noah is your player to focus on at this point, right? So that's just one thing. Again, the other team here, you can see here again, Scallywags, and you're going to be yapping. Scallywags here on the other side, and what immediately happens? Well, Noah uses his AK to shoot the long-range shots here. Now, one of the biggest problems in the finals, which again I don't really agree with, is range effectiveness. I think that the weapons like the ARs are very weak right now in the finals in terms of range. This range here is probably roughly about, what would we say, 50 meters, probably roughly like that, around about 50 meters. And for some reason in the finals, apart from the FAMAS, the AK and the FGAR are not really effective as much at this range. There's a very quick damage drop-off, and I think that it would be nice to have this back in. So you can see, even though it's only one player dishing out damage, he doesn't do anything in terms of the damage here. You'll see. Watch this. Shooting those shots. Look at the health bars at the top there of the players. Again, just kind of slightly chipping them there as well, right? So it's not a lot. And you can see there's a shotgun being shot there as well. Nothing really happening. They're keeping their distance. And now you're thinking, well, what about the other side? What about the other team? Well, the interesting difference here is that this player, and this player. So again, this is the heavy, which is Gremlin. Again, that's our star player we spoke about. This is our medium. These guys are all using shotguns, okay? And the reason why is you might be saying, why is everyone using shotguns? Well, there's a particular shotgun in the game right now which is very overpowered, and that is the model, okay? This model shotgun can basically two-shot within 8 meters a medium if you are accurate with it and take them out of the fight. 8 meters is quite a decent distance in the finals, so that's why players are optimizing to use these right now. But again, you can see both teams here sticking together. You know, there is a hierarchy of how the plays are in this match. You can see Wario opts to jump down. I think he's calling for his team to follow him. And this is a nice, smart play from them. So if you're a team that doesn't have the high ground, one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is they're not prepared. But let's say that you were over here in this kind of area, right? Let's say you were on the low ground in this kind of zone, and they were shooting you down into this area. Well, a lot of the mistakes that I see sometimes that a team makes is the IGL will call like jump pad here, and a jump pad is a medium has a jump pad which you can jump on it and then it launches you up in the sky. They'll say jump pad here, and then they'll throw like a dome shield in towards like the position of the players they're trying to attack. And one of the big problems is that during this time where they place it down, they might be getting shot. During the time they're in the air, they might be getting shot too. And the accuracy is okay in the finals for air shooting, but you're going to be super accurate if you're already a team that's down here. And don't forget as well at the same time is this is the heavy who has the dome shield. It's a shield ability in the game. Well, there's going to be a heavy on the other side too. So they're just going to throw their own dome shield, right? And then you have to kind of gamble if the dome shield lands correctly towards the players they're attacking over here. You know, it's a big mess. And I don't really like much of how retaking happens. I don't like how players retake that much in the finals. I think it's a bit of a gamble, if I'm honest. You have to be very good and coordinated at how you do it. I really like that in this instance here, I think it was Wario essentially calls for his team to drop down and then play in this kind of building area right here. This is actually a decent kind of call for them, because then it means that they're going to be shielded off decently by the players who are currently up here. But there's a big problem, and you'll see what happens afterwards. Again, this initial call, I don't think there was anything that wrong with, but you'll see what happens here. The map was against them here. So they noticed that they're in cover. You can see, I think it's Noah here who picks up the red barrel to try and expose them. Again, I like that they're keeping the high... Oh, sorry, it's a telco. And again, what happens right here? You saw earlier the thing that I said about a telco. Now, it seems like one of the things that I would say to a telco to improve is that it seems like what he's doing with comms, if I could already predict this, is that he makes the call whilst he makes the play. And notice how instantly one of the things, and again, I'm not saying this is massive at this point, but it will be later on, and you'll see. He's already jumping down into a fight that he doesn't know really specifically where the players are, whilst his heavy and medium are still holding high ground. So what I feel happened here was that Talca went, guys, let's push them. But he'll call it like now, right? And then they have to like catch up. He needs to say, guys, let's push them. Wait 3 seconds in his head for them to process it, because they don't have the same processing time. Again, there's latency delay over Discord, for example. Then there's the players processing the play. They might have to have some better information for him. He needs to be a lot more patient with himself and his team. And that was actually one of the biggest downfalls that I saw that T23 had. And again, it doesn't get exposed. But we'll show you minutes. Let's play the clip. Not too bad here. It doesn't really punish him that much. Again, they are quite close. They did keep up top of him. They've probably practiced a lot more, and they are kind of used to him making these plays, because this team has been playing together for a long time. So it's not necessarily the end of the world here. And now, again, they have exposed them because of the map, right? This is not necessarily that bad of a call from Scallywags on the pink team over here, but, you know, they're exposed by glass here, and you can see just how effective it is going to be against them. That AK doing a lot of damage from long range, closing the gap a little bit here is a little bit more dangerous. And you can see here that Atelco has opened up the dematerializer. So there's a gadget in the game where you can open up the floors below and put a hole in the floor. He's done that and exposed them below. So again, Scallywags kind of got a bit panicked here. They were a bit like I don't know, rats in a wall or something. I don't know what you would call it, but they get exposed here. Dome shield goes down, and it looks like again Atelco flies in with the teams. He goes for Wallio. He knows his Wallio's low. Pretty standard fight, and you can see they look pretty damn confident, right? I mean, this is a nice coordination. And where did that play start? Well, it started from the high ground. They did chip damage. Atelco made a great call to push his teammates over to the side where he knew the map layout because, again, they were in cover. There was glass in the side. Unfortunate. Atelco's confidence calls them over. Wallio's team dropped down. So Scallywags, sorry, dropped down. And they were just exposed from above. Because, again, what is it? High ground. Super important in the finals. So right here, you can see they have managed to deposit the cash, right? So you can see at the top left now is an indicator. So you have $10,000. That bar has to fill up all the way to the top here to give them the $10,000. They have to defend it for some time. So you can see here, Sam is hopping up here to get the information. I think that he just missed them, which is unfortunate because he would have been a bit more prepared for it. And they are trying to see if they can spot out where the players are. And I don't think he saw them. So this is actually this is a good favorable position right now for both teams. Again, the reason why is because, well, what's happened? Well, first of all, the players who have taken control of high ground here, 223, have all the vision in the world. You can see that they have a lot of this vision. But even if they get kind of caught off guard, they still have the highest point of the map right now, and that's super important. However, what's also really interesting is that the Scallywags have managed to sneak in during here and get themselves just below the building, like right here. And I don't think that Sam necessarily saw them, so it might be a bit of delayed info. And the surprise factor can be very good to counter them. Again, I don't know if he saw them there. Yeah, now they see them. Okay, so you see them at this point here. And again, when we're looking at it from this perspective, what did I say earlier that I really wasn't a fan of? I wasn't a fan of how teams try and retake high ground from teams that have already earned the high ground. And this is one of those instances where I just wasn't really a fan of it here. So you'll see RPG going in. I don't like this RPG. Now, if you guys want some context behind how valuable these things are, this RPG has been nerfed a lot over the recent probably year or so, or no, over the recent, yeah, I'd say year. It has been nerfed over the recent year. This thing obviously can deal splash damage, and it can pack a decent punch. It deals, I think it was like 140, 145 damage or something like that. It was like 140 damage, so, you know, it's very valuable. And you can see Sam here is kind of rash in his decision making. He doesn't need to do this. You can see going across, and it's a waste. So he's already lost a very important gadget. And again, rash decision making here from Sam. And now you're going to pay attention to Atelco and Noah here. You can see Gremlins managed to hold that high ground off. But now they've dropped down because they're worrying about it. So again, this was a very useless fight for both teams, you could also say. Because obviously, like, Salvo, Wallio, and Gremlin didn't need to try and take that high ground. What they're doing here is very good. Because again, if you look at this icon right here, Wallio has something called the dematerializer. So what he can do is actually dematerialize below the cash out and bring it down to their floor. What's the thing they have to worry about, though? High ground, okay? And that's just one of the biggest problems that they have to solve here as well. How can they manipulate this to maybe retake high ground? So you'll see. And I'll also give you guys some tips on how you can retake high ground in a cash-out situation that Frog Free did very well. Frog Free were also players in this, and there was an insane masterclass, which I actually want to do a separate video on, Frog Free's run. So actually, if you guys want me to like break down like very specific stuff of cash-outs as well, this is all very, you know, micro play. I'm not really talking about the macro, the overall, but it's just really fun to kind of watch this down. So they've noticed here where the cash-out is. It's already exposed. They dropped it once. And they're trying to find where 223 are. They should already know that 223 are roughly on the left side. Now they're being patient. Again, they're quite spread out. Again, I don't really like how spread out they are here as well. Like, I think being together is very important in the finals here. But we'll see. Gremlin. Oh, yeah. Gremlin is also starting to take some damage too. puts the dome shield down. Yeah, wow. Okay, so this is a big one. Now, I don't know. I can't remember who wins this, but I don't agree with this. Now, I don't know why. If you guys could maybe tell me why, maybe you guys will have a reason why I don't agree with this play. Who is in the biggest advantage right now? Okay, we could break down between you and me. Who is in the biggest advantage? Obviously, it's 2-2-3. They have a cash out, which is just nearly about 50% of the way done, and they have the high ground. Two of the biggest win conditions for a cash out in the finals. Okay, and what happens here is you can see the dematerializer above them. Okay, that was the dematerializer on 2-2-3. So, what happened in this fight that was different to the last fight? Well, let's watch. They drop down rashly. Yeah, and then you can see. Yeah. And I think there was one player left here. Okay, so yeah, I think there was like one. I think it was a 3v1 here, and you can see that there's the player over there is I think it's Sam. It was either a 2v3 or something, and then there's a free cash out still. So you guys might be thinking to like, well, why did they lose this fight? They didn't need to drop down into this decision, right? And I'll compare it to the last fight that they did. What happens here? This one, they haven't really done that much. They saw Gremlin was on his own, but Gremlin counters that by putting down the dome shield, which, by the way, I think that this was a really, really good dome shield by Gremlin to anticipate this. But they drop down. These players drop down. And you can see Noah and Sam, their backs are turned to where Wallio and Salvo is, which is already a bad, win condition by default. So what they've done is they've dropped in. They've already given up their high ground control, which they can have. They don't need to worry. Their cash out's on 50%. If the other team on Scallywags wants to steal the cash out, then they can go in for a bit of a brawl, or they can try and fake them out. But dropping in this early is a bit too rash. Now, what happened in the last fight? So you can tell, 2-3 lost this fight in particular. So this was the last fight. What did they do here? Well, they first of all dealt the damage first. See how they dealt damage here? They maintained their high ground first. And then once they know that the players were low on health, they know where the players are. That's the biggest context. It doesn't even matter if they still drop down and the players are on high health. The biggest point and the biggest factor is they know where all the players are. So this wasn't as rash of a play, because they know that two players are over here and they know the heavy's likely on the left, which is why you can see Atelco drops down and Sam here looks towards the left with Noah. Okay? And you can see that's why they shoot the heavy right there. Simple as. Well, when we go back to this play, which is, again, the massive blunder that they kind of made, again, a play that I really disagree with, they don't know, there is no confirmation on where the players are right now, and all they know is that they have Gremlin on the other team. They drop down. Sam doesn't even use a dome shield to drop down, by the way, as well. So players just instantly drop. No dome shield necessarily used here from the orange team this early, because they see one player of Gremlin. Gremlin manages to get out. The backs are turned. Look at this as well. This play from Salvo, huge. Really, really good. You can see what Salvo does here if we just watch it again very shortly. He has this grenade. He heal beams. Quick grenade during this fight. Now the grenade's underneath them. So Noah is still not facing them, by the way. The grenade goes down as well. Bang. Splash damage to the grenade there. This is what, again, these are things that really made me enjoy Salvo's improvement. Because from the quarterfinals before this match, Salvo he wasn't really being sold to me. But it was these many things that Salvo was doing that, wasn't really easy to be picked up on in the moment that just make these plays good. And then you can see finally Salvo gets the first one and then manages to get the other one from his teammate. Okay, so that was the differential there. Okay, is that 2-3 too rash? They went in without knowing the information. What's the point? You need to be more patient here. I think that, again, they're playing with fire and they're trying to be so confident in their plays. They're trying to snowball, get in the minds of the Scallywags here. But it just results to something that just wasn't excellent. It was just too rash in my decision. And you can see here it's going to go for a steal. The Scallywags should immediately result to going high ground. Immediately. And they should also... Well, actually, there's two things they can do. Sorry, I need to be a bit more slower in what I'm saying here. If they know... which they can know because of the scoreboard tells them, that it is a, let me do a different thing here. If they know that it's a 2v3, okay, they can group up together, around this area and either camp, I call it camping a statue. So when you get eliminated, a little statue spawns of your contestant. So it looks like this. It's a little statue of your contestant, right? and it will fall like on the floor like here. Now these players would have to go and res the statue, right? Or they would have to wait for the player to use his coin, which we call coining in, and basically he doesn't need to be revived. He can just respawn back in, and he'd spawn like all the way over there, like 50 meters away, right? As an example. So there's one of two options there. If they know it's a 2v3 and the coin is going to take some time, then they can go and try and force out to punish where these players are. In hindsight, they don't really know where they are right now, so they're not going to make that decision. Or immediately take high ground and back off. And why is that? Well, look at the cash out, okay? It's nearly 75% complete. Probably roughly, I think, about 40 seconds to go or so for this cash out. You don't need to make any crazy decisions here. Let the orange team now be on the back foot. You can see Atelco here and Sam slowly going back, waiting for their teammate to go in, and Scallywags here, standard, takes the high ground. These players know where they are now because, again, they're stepping and making noise. They can feed that to the player that coins back in, which is going to be Noah, I think. Yeah, it's Noah. Now, here we go. Noah's back in. Again, they have the high ground right here, the high ground advantage. They were kind of split up. Gremlin here is with his teammates, and then this player over there goes down on his own, which I think is, yeah, it's Wallio. Wallio goes in on his own here, but Gremlin sees basically this roof right here had been dematerialized, not from his teammates. I don't know from where. Maybe it was from someone on 223. I'd have to, like, I wish I had a demo so I could go into this and explain it to you guys. But look at the cash out first of all, okay, guys? The cash out B is about roughly 20 seconds left on the timer, and Noah here has already been chipped down for health. Gremlin has something in his ability right now called the Winch Claw, and this Winch Claw is very, very strong. This was one of the nicest plays that I'd seen a Heavy do in this tournament. Everything just worked out for him. He manages to take Noah away from the fight where his teammates are, because you can see there's an APS turret set up here which negates explosive damage from RPGs and stuff. Noah is with I'm gonna guess here, if I had wall hack, let's do the wall hack vision. Noah's here, Sam's here, and Atelco's roughly here, right? So they're all planning to go for like a last-minute ditch to steal this cash out. Well, Gremlin makes a massive play and manages to take one of those players out of the fight entirely. Watch this. Winches them in, pulls them in. Noah's instantly dead. This is... I can't express how massive of a play they just made right here. And then again, you can see Gremlin now plays defensive. He doesn't need to go in. I respect this because, again, someone like a Telco, for example, might have gotten an elimination like that and then jumped in to go for a rash decision. If a Telco dies, then it's back to a 2v2. Okay, so Gremlin respects the fact that he has a player advantage. He plays defensively and passive and then wait for his teammates to go in. Again, look at the eyes on your cash out right there. It's nearly done. They don't need to go in right now. The players are at a disadvantage. He waits for his team. The wall comes back up. Can't destroy that, which is annoying. He has a C4, but it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, they win that fight, and they manage to take the first cash out. Okay, and that was the reason why. So the lesson here from the very first fight is, well, if your team is going to be making decisions, rash decisions, jumping in, you need to have the information of where the other players are. And that was a massive problem with 223 in this one. Okay, so now we're going to the second cash out of this first map here. And Gremlin had died from a previous fight. Again, if there's a vault, for example, spawning at some point in the map, teams have to fight for it, and then they can bring the vault over to the A or B afterwards. I'm not going to break down those fights because I don't think they're as valuable to you guys. I'm trying to make this video as compact as possible, even though you guys know I like yapping. Anyway, we're going to get to this cash out A right now. And then you can see they deposit in. Now this cash out in particular is just, it's basically GG, right? And the reason why is because in the finals, you can manipulate the objective. So basically this cash out station right here, this can be blown away, it can be moved, it can be pushed over. There's a lot of things you can do with it. But in particular, and I notice this, I'll let myself call this because again, I think I was really proud about how I picked up on a lot of smaller things for the viewer. And you'll see here, as soon as they've deposited this, watch this. I'm watching to make sure, and look at this, so the cash out A, as I said before, it's in a place where they can kind of manipulate it, they can bring it outside, and they can stay from the high ground. Boom. Okay, so what just happened right here, again, if you guys are newer to the finals, it is essentially the fact that they've placed this jump pad down. So the jump pad, remember what I spoke about before, you could get on the jump pad and then be able to jump across. I'm trying to get a nice angle for it. Okay, there we go. So they placed the jump pad down here, and you might be thinking, well, why did they place the jump pad below cash out A? Like, what's the point in this? It's not going to do much, right? Well, yeah, it actually is going to do a ton. So right now it's a bit of a meta in the finals for a jump pad to be paired with where a cash out is. And everything in the finals, if you can see it, you can probably destroy it. So what's going to happen here is if Scallywags here are noticing that 2-2-3 are playing a bit more defensively, like they are with their kind of builds, I would argue, and they were trying to go for a steal out of like a weird time, well, they have a last-minute resort to blow this floor up right here and send the cash out down, and it's going to send it on towards this jump pad here, which will blast the cash out far away towards another angle of the map. Okay, now remember that, because I called this live whilst I was casting, and we'll see what happens later on. High ground here as well, and it looks like they will jump pad, bring it down. Again, as we said, rinse and repeat this type of strategy. You can bring that down and play it in the open, and they are in a great position here for this. Yeah, nice observing POV here to show them kind of like the narrative of this. Yeah. So you need to, if you're playing retake, and again, I could probably make a video like specifically on retaking, you need to always be prepared for what is below a cash out. 1 or 2 floors down. 2 floors down is harder. And I actually think that there are some gadget improvements that could be able to detect things. Like, there's a grenade in the game called the Recon Grenade, and that can detect where players are. I would actually like it to kind of ping where gadgets are also as well, so then players can know kind of like where a jump pad is, and it gives it a bit more value to the light contestant. So we have them going in now, they're calling for it, going up. You can see, I like a Telco actually throwing, is that a frag grenade? This is actually really nice. Yeah, this is actually, okay, this actually is very nice. Actually,
it's immediately going to shoot.
Let's go back to a Telco here.
Edge of the map, and that is in this a good position and such a.
Yeah, okay, this is nice, dude. I wish YouTube was a better player.
High ground, and honestly, I just don't see.
See how a Telco here, he roughly knows where these players are because these guys have a lot of game sense, right? They just know a lot of these things. That's something that you'll pick up on as you play the finals. You'll just know where teams hold. Telco actually makes a really sick play, which I didn't notice. He throws a frag grenade this time over to bounce off of the wall on towards where they're holding. That's actually massive too. But there's one key thing and one key gadget in this, which you'll see makes the difference, and you'll see it right now. Dropping up. Again, that grenades go through. Look at that splash damage. Finally, Sam makes a very good play with his RPG. That's one piece of utility use, guys, right here. I actually would argue and say that a Telco could have probably thrown the frag first, then called a team to go in, but that's just me nitpicking. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, this is huge. You can see, look at all that splash damage that's been done here. Massive play. And now Noah is also going in with his teammate too. He throws a red barrel carrier ball, and then immediately Scallywags counter that by jumping on their own jump pad 2 to go in the air, and now it's a bit of an air fight. I don't really agree with what Scallywags did here either. I feel like if they had an APS, then they could probably be a little bit more careful against that stuff. An APS would have countered the RPG completely, and they would have been fine to just shoot these players in the air like they're like sitting ducks, right? But anyway, a bit of an air fight right now. This dome shot going out here in APS. What's happened right now? Well, you can see what happened. This is actually huge. The APS by Noah was great. There's one big thing that's happened right here. I think a Telco should have landed here. That's why. If you look, the reason why this is a harder fight, a Telco has gone in. Again, this is what I'm saying. He's such an aggressive, rash player. He goes in. Take a moment to kind of play with your team a little bit. I understand that you want to deal the damage and go in. I get it. And especially because you might have been in the right Telco. A Telco's call here might have been the right call to charge down Gremlin, who was potentially on his own. Again, that's up to you to call a Telco. This is what you have to tell your team, is that either your team has to stick with you, and you have to make sure they stick with you, or you play a bit more calm and defensively. In my opinion, you should probably be playing a little bit more calm and defensively here, because if you three were together, you have the APS and the Dome Shield thanks to Sam, you would have been a bit more effective there. You're on your own. It's better to play with your team than to try and lead a charge on your own, because you can always make a big decision, a big mistake. If you're playing with your team, you can't necessarily make a big mistake because you can help each other. That's, again, the teamwork nature of the finals. So a Telco is actually one of the biggest problems here, is he goes in on his own, and he's now taking damage now. He's taking damage this whole time. You can count it down. And during this whole time, he's taking damage from Gremlin, and I think that's Salvo as well with the model. A Telco's gone out of the fight. He died quickly. Again, weapons are pretty strong in the finals. Now you have Noah here panicking to try and get it back in the favor. You can argue that technically, 223 could get back into this one if they can utilize things quickly. For example, Sam still has his winch claw up, but Noah's kind of going in here for a panic decision. And again, if you're tracking and being smart here, what is the biggest thing that Noah doesn't have right now? Oh, it is this right here. He is using a very weak-ish gun where he could have probably killed this player in probably one shot. He could have probably one-shot this player. Yep, welcome to the model. And potentially have two-shot melee this player, potentially. But because he's using the AK, which again, they have to respect the range, and Atelco has to respect that his teammates are also playing ranged weapons, it's a bit harder. And I think that Noah would have probably won this fight if he went for the medium first. Sam winches the heavy, and they go for the heavy, then it's just Wallio versus them two. You can see, AK doesn't do anything here. Sam drops and gets the first player. Look at this. Huge. Look how low Gremlin is. But Wallio to the rescue, I think. I think this is Wallio to the rescue, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Wallio to the rescue there as well. Nice play from Wallio. Again, weapons made a difference in this fight. Respect to Noah, he did what he could, but he's accurate. He's aiming onto Gremlin. He could have probably have killed Gremlin in this fight. You saw how Sam managed to get the kill onto, I think it was Salvo, right? And it was super close. Sam there, 190 health. He managed to get the kill. He has 2 barricades, by the way, which he didn't use. And then again, the players drop down. It's Wallio playing aggressively, and then they just clean up. Okay, so if you're playing in a team, guys, you need to either make 2 things clear. One, you have to trust your IGL's calls. If your IGL is a player that likes going in on these rash, aggressive, decision-making plays, you have to go with them. Okay, it's the IGL. It's Atelco's fault. If Atelco communicates to Noah and Sam to play off of what he's doing and it doesn't work out, that responsibility is 80% on Atelco. 20% might be because someone misplayed a macro play, etc., but that's fine. But 80% of that is Atelco's fault, so he has a big responsibility. Or, there's 2 ways to play this, or you say to your team, guys, I'm sorry, I'm playing a bit far ahead of myself. I need to learn to kind of calm myself down. Because I actually think that this was a winning fight for 223. And the biggest reason why it wasn't was because, again, Atelco, one of your teammates had gone in a bit too aggressively. And that's the biggest problem that I picked up on when I was casting these games that Atelco kept doing. He just needs to calm himself down a little bit, and this would have been probably their fight.
Because look at how far away they are. Here we go. First fight coming
Going in aggressively.
See the DMAT going up.
The bounce pad is below that cash out A, so they actually don't have that much time. Look at this.
Yeah.
They're going to try and go for it here, but the demon...
This is what you call a heartbreak. This is actually insane. So, let me explain to you guys kind of what's happened here. So, I don't know specifically where were they hiding? Can we see on the...
Fight.
They're hiding right there. So, you can see where the Scallywags are hiding right now. They can just dematerialize this wall. If there's a big problem, they can just dematerialize this wall right here and then go out, and they have the vision, right? They have the view of the players. But what happened was, and this is kind of heartbreaking because this was a great call, guys. This is a great call. You see how these players went in together on 223? And this whole time, they couldn't find where the Scallywags were. They've really struggled to find where the Scallywags were. And you know what the most heartbreaking thing is? I feel so bad for Atelco. If he didn't do this, they may have won this cash out. I love Atelco so much, but this is heartbreaking. You guys will see why. It's not Atelco's fault here. This is kind of a game fault, in my opinion. But he uses his first dematerializer, right? And now look how many he has here. So you have a cooldown on dematerializers. You can use 3 of them. He now has 2 left. And the time's ticking, right? And as I said, you heard me say in the casting, I said that there is a jump pad below. So all that needs to happen is that someone on Scallywags can use a explosive, for example, or use a dematerializer, drop the cash out, it hits a jump pad, and it goes flying, as we said earlier, right? Well, in this, Atelco comes up with an incredible counterplay. And this again, just shows why I love watching 223. But Atelco uses another dematerializer, a bit too panicked, and then uses another one here, right? And then look what happens. So you can now see what's happening? You guys were like, THiiX, why are you paying so much attention to what Atelco's doing here? Like, this isn't like crazy. It is, and you're about to see why. So, what Atelco has essentially done here is he's cleared a pathway, and the cash right now is still stealable, right? You can see it's roughly about 75%, so it's got like just this much left. So it's about, what, 80%. So it's got a little bit left. It's still doable for them. And it can be an amazing play here. Well, Sam has the Winch Claw on heavy, and I said to you before that the Winch Claw can bring players in. Well, it can also bring things like carryables, chairs, and also cash outs in as well. So they knew where this jump pad was. They knew it was below the cash out, right? They're not silly. These guys are very good players. But to counterplay that, Atelco essentially drew a hole in the wall aside of it, so then Sam could winch it towards them, and then they immediately counterplay the drop of the cash out into the jump pad, right? But this one small piece of a wall here, guys, this one small piece of a wall here is heartbreaking. And again, if Atelco was just a little bit calmer, again, he plays so his brain plays ahead of himself. And I said I love Atelco, but again, the spectating's on him, so I'm picking him, unfortunately. You have now, he's calling to Sam to winch it in. Sam uses the winch, and you'll hear me go through. Again, he uses the winch a bit rash. Like, these players, the plan is really good. Just slow down, guys. Take a second or like 2 seconds. I know you have to be quick. I get it. But let me just listen again, and you'll hear Sam so rash with his play.
Yes, they're gonna try and go for it here, but the demon.
You'll hear the chains go off. You'll hear it.
They realize that they might not know that.
There, the chains go off. It hit this little crack in the wall right here. That's heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. But it's, again, 223 now know, if they're watching this, or if you know, they watch the VOD, they now know, why did we lessen our odds? I want to say that. Why did we lessen our odds of success in winning this cash out? They're playing too fast. Like, take a second or two. You're allowed to breathe a little bit. It's not like League of Legends where you have to execute everything super quickly. Like, you can take some time. Sam used this Winch Claw, and now it's a problem. Now, for you players that, like, might be wondering, well, you know, what happened if it worked? Well, if they Winch Clawed the cash out, it would have dropped into this orange circle here. Now, this orange circle right here is the range of the APS, which our trusty boy Noah put down. That would have negated that explosive that was put on the cash out to drop it. And then there's only 7 seconds left. And I actually believe that Scallywags wouldn't have been able to run. They're like over here right now. They're like roughly about 5 seconds away. I don't think that they would have been able to run all the way over here to stop them doing it, especially when you have the barricades on Sam as well. But Sam made the decision a bit too rash. Again, Atelco panic put a hole in the wall there as well, and it just wasn't enough time for them to be able to take it. And you can see the play would have worked out. And I'll play the rest of this round.
Atelco here might tap this. The Winch Claw goes out, but it just misses. And they will try and go for a steal, but a bounce pad.
See how the bounce pad flies it over as well? Like, this is... You can see they counter steal, the explosion goes off, because again, the communication isn't happening. It's so frustrating. You need this communication to happen. Like, maybe Noah could have repositioned the APS to be nearer towards the cash out instead. They still have time to steal, roughly. Like, they have probably like another... They have like from this point here, they have another 2 seconds probably to be able to still make a decision or make a play. Before that, they probably had about 5 seconds, right? So, like, you know, just individually, just calm down a bit. Now they drop the cash out. The cash out falls, hits the bounce pad, and then goes all the way out into the street right here as well. So now what is it? It's Panic Fest, right? I'm not even going to break any of this down. It's just Panic Fest for everyone at this point.
The steal, but a bounce pad there launches the cash out away. That is so frustrating there. 4-2-2-3. They will try and go for another steal once again here. Atelco holding on for the rest of his life. The winch slot going out. Make that a double. And unfortunately, a triple there for Atelco. Wasn't towards his favor, though. And Scallywags still managed to get the victory. But that could have been a massive play.
It was just the decision-making for them that just wasn't the best here. And again, we can go for the rest of the maps too and talk about decision-making. I kind of wanted to do like a one-map thing. If you guys liked the series and you guys thought it was cool, then I can break down more of them as well. Maybe some people disagree with what I said, which is also fine. It went all the way to a best of 5. So we went into this one with Scallywags being up 2 maps and 2-3 being up 2 maps as well. So the next map wins basically as well. So we'll go into Sol.
We were in a secure position, and yeah, so anything will happen. It does look like we get the under construction variant. So we have a lot of elevated structures. We have more cranes going on, and honestly, it's just going to add to the utter chaos of this map.
That is right. You should all get hyped here at home. We're on towards map 5. We have Scallywags versus 2-2-3. This game has come down to a gridlock position. And again, whoever you're watching here, support.
And something I found interesting here is that Salvo picked up the FAMAS. So one of the things I thought was a unique decision. Salvo has one of the best aims with the FAMAS I think I've ever seen in the finals. I'm being deadly serious. And we will see that as well in this VOD. It's a bit of a ballsy play because the main meta was really just using the model, and that was like what was the focus on. If players weren't using the model, then they would use the FGAR. If they weren't using the FGAR, then they would go down to use the AKM. But I really feel like the FAMAS is a very useful weapon as well. Again, the FAMAS is a 3-burst weapon. What is the difference though? You guys were like, well, why did Salvo choose to go for the FAMAS? Well, he had something up his sleeve, I feel like, and he knew the FAMAS TTK is pretty decent, but as well, the FAMAS has more range than the AK or FGAR as well, and he used that to his advantage in this map. Now, this is my favorite. This might be one of my favorite matches I've seen play, and this map and match here is the reason why the finals can be an esport. I don't really have to even sell it to you. So we're going to go off here. Again, what's happened? Again, you guys are probably understanding now the pattern that's kind of forming. That's what I kind of like to teach you guys, is that the finals is actually very pattern-based, and it's very rinse and repeat. And if you as a team can find a way to break that pattern, which I actually know a team that does break that pattern very well, but if you can break that pattern, you could probably beat a lot of these players right now, because it's the same thing repeated every day. And that's why when these players scrim each other, I don't think I've seen people try anything new. They're just trying to refine what they've already gotten secured, and they're just repeating the same thing, which is why I think that there's a massive open gap for you as a team. If you guys are pretty good at the finals and you want to get a team together, counter this stuff. It's not hard. You can find counters to this stuff. So right now, again, the high ground, who is it? Scallywags. They have the high ground right now. So what should you not do? Jump pad plays, I just don't like them. But here we go.
French side.
Watch the orange players. 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. What's happened? Noah is unfortunately the only player to be up here. Now, I also want to quickly remind you guys that even though I'm being very critical, there might have been things inside of these plays that I don't see. I'm just talking about it from a spectator point of view. Again, if I had a replay, which is not going to be possible in the finals, there won't be a replay for a very, very long time. Or if I had the perspectives of all the players, I would be able to look at like why things have happened in depth. But unfortunately, Noah is on his own here, and that shouldn't happen. Maybe that was because they didn't hit the right jump pad together, or there was a bit of a disinformation between each other, and there was a bit of a disconnect. Noah played too aggressive, right? Miscommunication issue, but Salvo here, really good aim.
Now we have Scallywags. Look at this as well.
Now it's what? Already so it's already a 3v2, and they didn't even take high ground. Again, please stop trying to retake high ground against teams that have high ground. I don't understand why this is a thing. Every time I see it, it works probably 20% of the time. Every time I see it. Again, this could be an anomaly, and I might be mistaken, and it actually might work 90% of the time. We're just seeing bad plays, like in terms of like communication, for example. But it doesn't work. I just don't see it work in these situations, and they still have the high ground.
Well, we have the FAMAS in the hands here of Salvo, who eliminates Noah straight away. But going down for the low ground is Sam, who also falls as well.
Yeah, these players are all out of the fight.
Like a strong initial impression here for Scallywags.
So again, this doesn't matter that much, but I just wanted to show you guys, like, again, the high ground retaking just wasn't great. And now we're going to go for this. So 223 did amazing to come back into this match. Again, I recommend that you guys watch the full VOD. I'll put it in the description as well. 223 did really well here, and Scallywags and 223 had this really awesome battle the whole way. For it to get to this point in Skyway Stadium for this map was massive. And this first cash out was just insane.
They are going to get that spawn in the hospital in pretty...
So you can see here that they're bringing the 1 towards B, and Gremlin, who's actually a little bit separated because he's let Scallywags... he's let Wallio, sorry, go in instead of Scallywags. He's let Wallio go in to take the Vault 1 to the B. You can now see the orange team on the right here. Who jumped over together. Good play. But again, it's always a Telco going first.
I think they're going to try and drop the Skybridge if they have time. But we do see both teams are already getting ready.
Now you can see what's happened. This arguably, is a pretty decent situation for 223. The problem is that the cash out's in a building, so they don't have a lot of visibility, but they've taken the high ground, which is super important. So you could arguably say that 223 here are in a very favorable position. Why? Because that 20%, the high ground, to start off with. Now we're going to see what they do about that, though. So we can see shots from above, all patient, diving in together. Okay, I get why they're doing this, because, again, the cash out's in. They're not just going to sit up there and wait for players to show themselves, right? Again, if it's in a building, they can play a little bit differently. So they drop down.
Yeah. High ground here, you can see
a bit unfortunate dropping down. That APS went off here on the pink team. So from this perspective, a very smart idea was that, I don't know who it was. I think it was Wallio, if I'm not mistaken. But there's that APS. You guys remember when I spoke to you before about how good and important the APS is as a gadget? Well, that APS managed to stop a lot of the aggression going out there from players like Sam going in, using an RPG, a Telco, for example, throwing a frag grenade, and that was super important to go through here. But Atelco's actually managed to put himself in a decent position. Okay, he needs to obviously be aware that his teammates have to still climb up. Again, he's the player that's leading the charge right now. He needs to think about, you know, what's happening around him.
In here with
his teammates. Again, the shots with the model, it's too far away to really do that much. Telco gets winched. Okay, massive there. This is a good winch here from Gremlin.
Yeah,
really good. And look, you can actually see what's funny is that they didn't expect this to happen. You can see Scallywags were not prepared for it. Again, I said to you before, the element of surprise is huge in the finals as well. And when they drop down, they're not even really looking at them that much. I think it's because Wallio is putting down the APS. That's probably why, and it looks the bitrate isn't the best here. But again, already going in initially.
Driving in here.
Again, Atelco playing a bit too aggressively. He has exposed himself, and Gremlin's winch is arguably pretty damn good. It's unfortunate though because he winches Atelco into the dome. So you can see here about the dome shield is that this dome shield right now is protecting Gremlin. There's nothing much that these players can do. But when Gremlin winches Atelco in, he's put him into the dome shield, which then Atelco can deal damage. So you kind of like want to do it like this. If you do it from like a top-down view, if you have a dome shield down, you kind of want to do it so like you're standing like here, you winch them into here, or you're here and you winch them into here, because again, they're not going to be able to damage you through the shield. If you winch a player in, if you're here and you winch a player in, then they just get free range damage on you as well. But I still think that the winch was actually pretty decent from Gremlin, to be fair. Gremlin here winches Atelco in, but Atelco manages to do the damage. And you can see, actually, no, to be fair, no, I take it back. Again, I'm sorry, I don't have the spectator mode, guys, so it's just so annoying. I'd love to be able to like see different players' perspectives. No, Gremlin did do that. I think he took some initial damage.
High ground here, you can see
play it again.
Driving in here with his teammates again.
He did it. He took some initial damage there straight away. But then he went to the edge of the shield, and then it protected him a little bit there. But nice. Noah supports Atelco. Very good play here from 223. Very good play.
As well. And there it is. Noah getting elimination to Gremlin.
Nice, Sam. Huge play. I don't know where Atelco went there. I think Atelco probably went a little bit too aggressive. I love Atelco so much, man. I love Atelco. Where did Atelco go?
As well.
Wait, where did the Telco go? Wait, let's see.
Telco's
there. Okay, he's above. He's above. He's above. He's above. He's above. He's in a fight. He's above right here, right? He's above somewhere here. Oh no, he dies. I don't know what happened to Telco, but anyway, look. This is huge. Does he revive? Oh, there we go. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Let me see.
There it is. Noah getting elimination.
I don't even know what happened. regardless, this is a great play here from 223. We can watch the whole play pan out.
He has spotted out one of the players, but
Great play from Noah to lead on to what Atelco is doing. Great play from Sam to winch claw in. Defib back up.
Into a 2v3 now. Revive's coming back out. It's now a 3v1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and now they're going to want to find
Salvo.
Salvo.
It is going to be Scallywags here.
Salvo's running.
It is Salvo running away here on 1 bar
Jumps
of
off the map.
And Salvo.
Yeah, so you guys will see, by the way, Salvo here does something called he wipes on purpose. So you can see right there, this is him, and jumps off the map. And now the reason for that is because if you wipe all together, then all of you can spawn back in and you have another chance. It's better to wipe early so you have a better spawn rather than trying to stay alive and wait for your teammates to coin back in, depending on how fast you have to be. So this is good here. So 223 have done a good retake, arguably. Where did it start, guys? Can someone tell me where that fight started? From the high ground. And I know that they didn't get to do much with that high ground. I know that they still had to drop down onto the same level. But Atelco, again, dealing the damage, he got put into the dome shield as well. I just think it was a good fight overall from 223 to work together. Again, the Atelco Noah combo that I really like is really strong. I love that as well. And then again, Sam winching the last player in to be able to secure that in towards the dome shield was a great play. So yeah, this is really nice here from 223. Really nice. So now they have to wait 17 seconds, 10 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And during this time, they're essentially preparing. So if you guys don't know, this area of the map is the edge. And it is one of the hardest areas to retake because you have this bridge right here, which has been dropped. This is a destructible bridge, so you can destroy this. And then you've only got one point of interest that players can cross. You have a crane like over here, which you can put down and you can jump across the crane. You can actually see it right here. It's on your screen. If I just delete this. The crane right here as well, you can jump across from this crane too. But they didn't really have enough preparation time. And you kind of see, again, arguably, they should have been a bit more prepared for this fight here. And this bridge, I think they wanted to try and destroy the bridge. Or they didn't decide to destroy the bridge. They didn't destroy the bridge yet. So now, Noah has put himself in a position where he is now scouting out, which is really nice. And there's, again, we're talking about differentials here. Well, what's happened? Noah has picked up, I think that's the model. I think Atelco's on the model too. And Gremlin is also on the shotgun, right? Well, who doesn't have a shotgun? Ah, Salvo, you sneaky devil Salvo. Massive. And again, we'll just watch this kind of play out. They drop the bridge. There we go. And they know that they jump across as well. This is crazy to me. Like, again, if they had the long-range weapons, which, again, I don't know who called this for 223. Sorry, for Scallywags. The confidence to be able... Listen, the confidence to be able to make a push like this is insane. And that's because they knew that 223 don't have long-range weapons, so they can just run apart. Who cares about the model? That range is way too far. So this is why it was effective to stop them. Again, it's crazy. This would never have happened, by the way, in like the open beta. In open beta season 1, things like this, they would have gone absolutely decimated out of the fight. But the fact is that they've gone to the models. Again, there is a downside to the model, and that's range. You can see them jumping across here. Managed to get in. And now, what's happened? 223, they had the high ground, guys. They had the high ground. And again, it's obviously a problem. But they can control the high ground here. It's Sam that jumps in. And it's just weird, guys. Like, Sam is in. There's a player down and then there's a player up there. It's a bit disconnected here. Now Atelco drops down. What's happened? Guys, high ground. They have given up their high ground short term. I think they want to come back in. Again, Noah is up here as well. Noah actually makes the right call here. Noah's on high ground. He's chilling. Do they go back up? No, they all drop. This is, guys. This is frustrating to me because, again, we have seen countless examples today. I know we've only done 2 maps, but I saw it throughout the tournament. A lot of examples today where high ground matters. They gave it up. they can take the route. Again, you remember that strat that we spoke about all the way earlier in the video today? Like right here, if you guys see the thumbnail in the bottom left, the play where they opened the fall up and they found up with the players where they dealt damage from above. Do that. Why aren't you guys doing that? Right? Do you know what I mean? Like they drop the cash out down. It's just fortunate. Walia then I think also realizes this. He does this really nice spot here. Let's listen into the comms as well. Let's listen in.
All right.
Drop. D-Mat on money. D-Mat on money. Wally, come here.
Good call.
They're gonna be under, I think.
They're gonna be under? All right.
Good retake. Good retake. Good retake. Good retake. Good retake. There we go. Okay, good. Who is the player that I said about at the start of the video? Atelko, I love you, bro. I love you, man. But, like, dude, you gotta give yourself, like, a second or two to let them know what you're doing. It's an aggressive play.
I'm winched.
Atelko dead.
Good winch. Wait, who did that winch? Let me see. Was that Sam? Sam, this is a good winch, Sam. Oh, Sam. I think Sam nearly saved the Telco there. Like, Atelko, you don't need to go this aggressive, my guy. You had the high ground. This is massive. This position. Right. What did he say? What did he say, chat? They're going to be under. And Walio was right to call. I don't know if this is Walio to say this or not. But this is going to be under. That is right, because I would have assumed that too. If I was them and I saw them lose high ground, then I would have said they'd be under. Again, element of surprise. But they take high ground. This is so good for 2-2-3. It's massive. But again, Telco just going in a bit too quick. I want to see what Noah's doing as well. Noah's here. Noah's here. Noah's here. Look. Right? You can't have this. You can't have this in the finals. You have your support player, right? So Noah is on the healing beam, right? And he has APS, I'm pretty sure. No, I think Atelko has APS. Either way. Noah's here. Sam's here. Sam is in a good spot. Sam's positioning is massive. And I could make a macro play right now. A micro play, sorry. I could make a play right now where essentially you could have... If Noah was here with the Telco, if Noah was with the Telco right here, right? Then Atelko and Noah could focus, for example, on like the heavy or like on a medium or whoever. Like, it doesn't really matter that much. And then Sam can bring one player up. So Sam brings a medium up to his level, or maybe a heavy, depending. Then he's taken him out to fight, and it's potentially an easy 1v1 if he's done the right, if he's got the right stuff. And then it's now a 2v2. So Atelko takes this, player takes this, Sam winches up. And you've essentially got yourselves a very fair fight. It's a 1v1v1, you know, in terms of like everyone playing in here. But again, I'm not saying Atelko is at fault. He's not necessarily at fault. Okay, I'm not blaming him. But if you're the IGL, you need to make sure that your players are in sync with you. Look how far away Noah is here. He's super far away. And again, I said to you at the start, the Atelko and Noah combo is amazing. It's really, really good. But this doesn't... This wins games. This right here wins games. And Sam, by the way, I'm not saying you're not a part of it, Sam. But I'm just saying, like... I'm saying that these two mediums play off well each other. This wins games. Sam supports this to win. And you can't have... I don't know if it's either Noah not trusting Atelko's call here. Noah's not prepared for it. Atelko's calling a bit too early. But you can see what happens when there's a big separation. And then it's Atelko in a 3v. Atelko should have died quicker than this, by the way. I think that was actually probably Salvo not managing to get the accuracy on the model here to Atelko. But this play from Sam to winch one up is massive. It's so good. There. Winch. Yeah, he winched the heavy up. Atelko's in a 1v2. If Noah dropped, like here, for example, then that would have been massive because they would have all focused Atelko, and then then Noah could deal the damage.
I'm winched.
Yeah, look, see? And look how low from the winch. Ignore everything else. Look at the Gremlin v Sam fight. Look at the Gremlin v Sam fight. If I said 1v1, Sam goes up. Bang, bang, bang. Dome shield massive. Look how low look how low Gremlin is here. Sam... very, very good individual play, Sam. This is really good. If Noah was a little bit early with you here, Noah's coming in now. You could have individually helped win this for killing the heavy up here. This is really good. Now Noah comes in a bit too late. Atelko's already dead. It's now a 3v2.
Atelko dead.
Bang goes
I'm dead.
in.
Last. It's a heavy. It's a heavy.
Revive. Massive. Sam here. Oof. He's already used his abilities.
Go.
Fib.
Red.
He dropped. Steal.
Yeah.
No. Stay up with Salvo.
Good call. Who said stay up with Salvo? Massive. Because what could have happened is Sam could have managed to somehow make a play where he like winched one of them back in if his winch cooldown was back. Or Sam could have winched Wallio right here, and then it would have been back to a 1v1, right? And that's massive. Look at this. Counter still happens. 1v2.
Yeah, it's fine. That was res me.
Good call.
Res me.
Take it, you take it.
What an amazing steal that we just saw happen there.
Res me.
Sam. Sam individually here does so good. And again, because of the coin timing, so if you guys are wondering like the overall no.
You take it.
Okay.
Take it.
Okay. So, if you guys are wondering what's happened right now, just before we play the play, because Etelko died so early, he is able to coin back in. Sam here, winching Salvo, who's already been pulled in, knows that it's a 1v2 right now. But Etelko's coming, right? And look at the timer on the cash box. Do you guys see that right now? Look at the timer. Guys, no. I'm being serious for a second, though. Look at the timer, guys. Really pay attention to that. I'm going to let this play out because this is insane.
An amazing steal.
So
that we just
currently, Scallywags have the cash out. Look where Noah and Etelko is.
And oh my god, the fighting is still going on. It does look like the Scallywags will be able to get it, but Etelko goes for a nice little dive. He tries to get it, and is he going to be able to get the steal? The DMAT goes off. They tried to bounce it, but it did not work for them. And it does look like the Scallywags were able to take that in the end. Oh no, I'm sorry. That is 2-3 was able to take it. They are in orange.
Yeah.
And Scallywags is in pink.
That was a steal.
So I was kind of, again, much love to Rio, but if I had this, you can hear me in my voice. I was like this. So like I think you can watch it on stream, but I was actually like impressed. So I didn't fully see this, but so what happened, if you guys aren't new to the finals or you're kind of like wondering like what's going on? Pink was in control of the cash out, okay? Etelko and Noah, again, the combination that I said at the start of the stream, these two players, when they play together, they're insane. They just make things work. Example, okay? Etelko dived in, immediately went for the steal because he knew that it was now or never, okay?
Like
Noah recognized
will
that.
be able to get it, but
He
Etelko
does the
goes for a
damage,
nice
gets the elimination and
dive.
stab.
He tries to get it.
Player drops the cash out down
And is he
into a bounce pad, but it was a bit too late from Wallio here, and the bounce pad didn't register the cash out.
going to be able to get
He sat there. Noah gets the elimination.
the steal? The DMAT
Bang!
goes off.
That is probably one of the best counter steals that might happen in the finals for a long time. 2-2-3 pulled off one of the most insane moments. I wish I was casting it, or like I wish I was like having it there. Because yeah, that is absolutely insane. You can hear my voice how shocked that was.
They tried to bounce it, but it did not work for them. And it does look like the Scallywags were able to...
And by the way, this isn't Rio's fault. I just want to tell you guys now, just quickly, whilst we're like doing this long video. This is not Rio's fault here. It's just because we don't know the colors of players. We need like, you know, there needs to be like an icon that says 1, and then it says like SW if you want to initialize it, or like 2, 2, 2, 3, right? Like, so we need to know who does it because we have to link up the color, we have to link up the icon, and then link up which team they're on. This is not Rio's fault. You just have to know which team they're on at the start, so you then
take
use your
that
brain.
in the end. Oh no, I'm sorry. That is 2-2-3 was able to take it. They are in orange.
Yeah.
And Scallywags is in pink.
That was a steal. Exactly. This is insane. I'm actually just shocked of what we just saw there. So basically it was.
So again, Rio didn't pick up on it. Again, not Rio's fault, but I had to explain to the viewer like what happened. Like, you know,
It was the reverse plays, and again, we could obviously talk about this fight happening right now. I don't think that's important. I want to break down to the viewer quickly what just happened. So you had these players have the correct spawn to drive in and get the momentum to steal the cash out in the first place. But a Telco going in there, holding the cash out, the jump pad allowed a Telco to still hold the steal. It didn't bounce the cash out, Rio.
Yeah.
That there. Okay. THiiXy ego phase. THiiXy ego phase. That there, what I just did was massive as a caster, I think. I actually think ignoring this fight completely because it's not really a valuable fight in the finals and telling the viewer what happened was huge because, again, respectfully, Rio didn't pick up on it. Like, you know, it wasn't able to be, like, on the replay. The casters the production needed to replay this. You need to, it's very frustrating to me because, again, I'm being very nitpicky. This is why I like running my own league thing. That needed to have a replay. Production should have replayed that exact moment, but they didn't know what happened themselves, really. And that wasn't on a replay. It's very frustrating. That's why I said I could be an observer for this game. I could be a caster for this game. I could be a referee for this game. I could be a player for this game. But I wish I could do all of them at once, but I can't. But, you know, it is what it is. I could also be a coach for this game, I guess, as well. Hey, if any teams out there want to be coached, all right, let me know.
No, and they tried. They just missed it.
I would love to pick up a team, and I would love to have my own team and run it. I think it'd be kind of fun.
By just a little tiny bit. So, you know, that's what happens. You have to be really precise with this. It does look like the Scallywags were able to pull off another team wipe here.
Yeah, so 223 have the advantage here. They have the first cash out. Again, it's first to $20,000 for the cash, and we'll go to the next one.
P as well. Hopefully we see the replay.
In chat said,
yeah, here.
Later on, that was actually insane. Again, hopefully we see the replays for that later on as we get.
Again, it's frustration. Like I really wish production saw that. Like we needed to see that moment again because they missed one of the most like crazy plays that I've seen in the finals in a long time. Like my brain actually hurt from that play. So again, this is standoff of the high ground plays now. You can see that they're actually on the crane all the way up here at the very top. So they're all the way up there. Okay, so they have high ground here, and 223 are low ground. So
normally it's the strategy is to drop that immediately so that you. There we go. They're off of it.
Yeah, there we go. And they drop the crane. Very good play from 223 here to drop the crane. Very, very good. Very, very good. Yeah. So 223 recognized that high ground is very important in this particular fight, and they had to kind of get rid of that high ground here to remove the advantage that the Scallywags had, because again that cash out timer is ticking as well.
Going off, and they do drop the crane. It does force the Scallywags to jump off of it, but they are in still a good position. Their cash out is counting down. We don't see any combat going off just yet. They're kind of staying in the.
Yep, and then you can see how the cash out fell. That's because so they got pulled out of the fight, and then if I'm not mistaken, someone on 223, I think it was a Telco, dematerialized the cash out down. So remember when they do the hole in the wall, they did it down so they can try and steal.
They're kind of staying in the back burner of this and just waiting for anything to pop off.
They're going to go check them. Nothing happening yet. Great position. The Scallywags here, recapturing high ground in this moment was huge. This was very, very good from them. Very good. Then I think they're going to start stealing it here on 223, which is why they dropped. Again, they didn't have to drop to the same floor. They could have probably just opened up a roof here and then winched a player in. So another good strategy that I'll kind of give to you guys, a little gem. It doesn't really work that well here because there is some stairs. But what you do is you have a medium here, for example, that's holding the dematerializer. And then you have the heavy right here. The medium dematerializes the roof right here. The heavy winch claws a player in. Then the player with the dematerializer closes this back up. And you've automatically gotten yourselves an easy 2v3. It's obviously a little bit harder than that, right? Because again, you know, we're doing strategies here on the fly. Like, it's not that simple, but it's also like a good starting point for you guys as a team as well, if you want to use that as your starting strategy.
turret is set up by the 223 as they're trying.
Yeah, now they're starting to steal. Nice winch there for Sam. You can also see here on the right, I think it was Wallio, who's under... Oh, Salvo, sorry. Salvo under a little bit of trouble. Salvo gets killed here. Great strength from it. 2-3. Again, playing off of each other. Massive. Yeah, massive. Again, this, I don't have anything to say negatively here about both teams. I feel like this was just a nice fight. So, again, just to tell you guys, like, someone might watch this video and be like, oh, THiiX, you're criticizing it, but you can't do it yourself. Like, no, I obviously can't. I don't have the technical skill. I don't have the reaction times. I'm just good at analyzing what went wrong, and I can explain what went wrong. This fight here, I don't really think there was a problem on any sides. This was just a good brawl between two players, and, you know, macro and skill and stuff like that. Micro and skill and all that stuff just went to good factor.
And it is now or never. You can see them here on the low ground. They have a good spawn as well. Again, everything could be resting here on the shoulders of 223. They're driving in. Gadgets and abilities flying across here as well. It's Salvo.
Oh, man. Salvo, bro. You're disgusting with the FAMAS, man. How? So, again, this is what I told you guys. Remember when I told you about the jump pad? Like, okay, first of all, positioning. I'll get far ahead of myself here. I understand why 223 went to hide here. I think that was their strategy, was to hide. Again, I think it was. But just play confident. Like, be confident. You have, if I'm not mistaken, this place here which you can hold from. You can scout out this side. You can scout out this side. And worst case scenario, you have a barricade here for Sam. You have, I think, an APS on a Telco, right? I think. You can play defensively. You have a defensive build. You have the dome shield as well on Sam. So, like, again, it's just this very frustrating thing here. Like, I don't understand why they give up high ground so much. And, again, you can see they go up. On the shoulders of they see the players here. They call to go left side. And then they counter jump up. Like, there's two of them. And then Atalco's on his own. I don't know. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do this crazy jump pad play. Again, I don't understand why teams do this. Again, someone could probably explain to me, like, a good reason why. But, like, it doesn't do anything. I don't get it. Like, when you have a player like... Okay, remember this as well, chat. Remember this as well. Let me explain to you why I don't get this. You should know by now that Salvo has a FAMAS. Okay? You should know by now that Salvo has a long-range weapon. So why would you respect that long range? And again, I think much love to a Telco, but again, it was just a little bit rash. Like, a Telco's in the open here. Amazing accuracy from Salvo, though.
With the FAMAS from long range, he manages to get one of the players low, and it is going to be an elimination here. A Telco goes down. The cash out can be stolen. Players are going to have to go in.
Oh, what a winch!
Down to low XP and take it out as well. And again, the revives are coming back up here as well, and it might just.
Oh. So this whole play right here, by the way, guys, could have been won. I love 223, man. This would have been insane. So let me explain to you guys what happened. So a Telco had gone down. Noah gets winch clawed in. Doesn't wait for his teammate Sam. Respectfully, again, they could have still won this, because remember, guys, what does Sam have? He has a winch claw. But regardless, Noah gets winched in to try and panic. Noah gets his elimination. So he kills the heavy. This is massive. A great play from Noah. He is set it up for Sam to win this. Then there's a steal. And you can just see the steal happens. There is a reason why I'm playing it in slow motion. Watch here, guys. Watch here. This is heartbreaking. Look. The last player alive, guys. Sam. It's a bit rash in my opinion, Sam. I don't know what it was. I feel like you could have been absolutely fine. If you pulled this off, though, Sam, I'm not going to lie. People would be talking about this for years to come. Like, this would... If you pulled this off, Sam, you know what you would have earned yourself? You would have earned yourself, like, the first finals graffiti. Like, there'll be, like, a draw, like, a board here. There'll be, like, you know, mind your step or something. Like, a nice graffiti to... So, I get why you did it, Sam. You wanted to do, like, a crazy air play. I understand it. But a simple winch claw here, Sam could have won that fight. Again, much love to Sam, but you can see he has all the health in the world. He could have simply have gone for a simple winch to be able to pull the cash out, and they would have won the game. But by unfortunate stretches, I mean, Sam could have even ran in. Even if he didn't have a winch claw, he could have just ran in. I understand it, but he misses, unfortunately, the winch claw.
Just
Falls to his death.
B, if no one could get it in time, they're still coming back for
Yeah.
Scallywags to
They
qualify.
got
That's crazy. That is absolutely insane.
Them through. It's the Scallywags coming out of nowhere. Again, the spawn on Soul brings Scallywags the victory, the one-to-one.
Yeah, this is my fault. I kept, for some reason, this is, again, let's criticize me now, okay? Hey, finally we get to criticize THiiX, guys. Finally. Okay, so I'll explain. For some reason, I thought that, sorry, for some reason, my tongue said that Scallywags had got the victory. I meant to say the cash out completed, or like, not cash out completed, but like, you know, the steal, basically, is what I wanted to say. Because the way I worded it was, the way I wanted to word it was, the Scallywags have gotten the cash out to bring them one step closer to victory. But, you know, because it was a crazy play in the moment and I missed a winch claw, like, my brain was going crazy, you know what I mean?
Come back into this one.
And then we can go back to the final one. And this here, if I'm honest, like, I don't really have to break this down. This
Three is
here
gonna
was
have
just
you-
brawls. I feel like they kind of
Are you a
just
believer?
did brawls.
They just have to.
This who will qualify in towards the grand finals for the $2,000 pool here for Breakout Worlds 2024. And here it is.
High
Salvo,
ground.
Wallio, and Gremlin
Sticking
on the
together,
attack here. Players
rolling. They got the players split
on
up.
defense for 2-2-3 under pressure. It's Gremlin driving in with the winch claw. He has managed to get the first damage down. He's only on 2 HP as well. It's no actually falls. Now Atelco under pressure from the high ground. It's Salvo using the FAMAS as well to his ability, and the steal happens. It looks like it might just be all done and dusted. It's Atelco versus the world, and it's Scallywags qualifying through into the finals.
Oh my God! What just happened? 2-2-3 had the perfect setup. They.
I feel like they didn't have the perfect setup. A perfect setup would have been either.
It's
Where was that setup? Where was that
For
setup?
this last push, they were my pick, so I'm.
I don't like this. There we go. High
I
ground
am a believer
ish
in 2-2-3.
above the
They
cash
were my
out.
pick, so I'm
More
really
high
rooting
ground.
for them, and they just have to have really good.
No, they didn't have a good setup, in my opinion. Why don't players just keep the high ground? I don't get it, guys. Just take the high ground. Just take it. It's yours.
Defenses for this last push.
Look, they're on the low ground. It's just
it
take
all
the
comes
high ground,
down to
boys.
this.
I mean, then this is actually
Who
okay. This is to be fair, this is
qualify
okay.
in
This is okay. No, I take that back. This is okay. The APS I don't agree with. The APS should be on the platform with
towards
them.
the grand finals for the $2,000 pool here for Breakout Worlds.
But there's higher ground here. Yeah.
2024.
Then they get
And here
caught.
it is.
Explosion goes in. Because, was that Gremlin's? Was that Gremlin's explosion? Because, again, they should have had the APS down. Yeah, Gremlin has the RPG out. Ah, where's the APS, lads? Come on, boys. They need an APS there. I don't know. I feel like they need an APS there. They should have expected at least, like, again, Scallywags won this because the high ground here is so good from the call to be for Scallywags to take the high ground here. RPG goes in.
And here it is. It's Salvo.
And then now they're scrambling. Like, they're scrambling. The APS goes down for Scallywags. 2-2-3 are under pressure now. Look at them. They're literally running away. They're not even aiming.
Gremlin on the attack here.
Trying to winch players in. Just running away this whole time.
It's Gremlin.
Noah's low. Sam's low. Noah's dead. Atelco's running away.
Atelco under pressure from the high ground. It's Salvo using the FAMAS as well to his ability, and the steal happens. It looks like
Yeah.
it might just be all done and dusted.
So, personally, I don't think their positioning was the best initially. But, guys,
Atelco versus
crazy
the world,
match.
and it's Scallywags qualifying
Crazy
through to the
match.
finals.
Oh my God! What just happened? 2-2-3 had the perfect setup. They had defenses and everything that they needed, but they just let the Scallywags come through.
they didn't have... The thing is, they didn't really have defenses, I could argue. There was no APS there. They were just sat on, like, one point. Again, if we were to go back and remind
Setup,
ourselves,
they
like...
had defen-
There's barricades on Sam, so if they didn't want to play high ground, then just put barricades by the doors, right? If you really wanted to do something like that. But you got to have an APS there, I think, in my opinion. Like, it's kind of 50-50, though, because the APS can give away your position as a team. So then they can make plays against you. But, yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. I mean...
defenses and everything that they needed, but they just
Yeah.
let the Scallywags come through. I'm shocked, but that's how it plays out. There was nothing that they could do. They went for that perfect steal, and nobody.
Yeah, a crazy VOD. This whole VOD of this was just super sick. Guys, I've been doing this for a long time. I do apologize if I did yap, but hey, if you made it to the end, if you made it right here, right now to the very end, let me know, and I'll give you a little thank you in the chat. Also, write your comments as well on what you guys thought of it. This is, again, reasons why I think the finals can easily be an esport. I think it's just the breakdown of this was amazing. Yeah, that is basically it, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the Yap session with THiiX. It's a new series I'm doing, I guess, to break down some plays. And we will get more of these back in 2025. And until then, I'll see you. Hey, until then, get your team together, okay? Get your team together. That's a warning, okay? That is actually a warning. I would very, very much so get a team together right now, guys. Last final warning. Anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the podium. Goodbye.